can see that being something that is, and I'll let you answer that, maybe is difficult to overcome because I know that you and I have spoke about this so many times. Like at this point, even though I'm in a new relationship now than from when we last spoke, to speak to the woman that I'm with about the bedroom is still like taboo. She still wants to get her
Mm.
cross and her holy water out and sprinkle me and release my demons, right? Because to a lot of people, they want to make sure the door is closed and the phones are off when they
Yeah.
have these types of conversations. And you raised a good point where you said that we wanted to feel safe when
Mm.
we have these conversations. And there's a part of me that thinks that maybe some people suffer from that, not feeling safe because of their upbringing, the culture, maybe their experiences in the past.
Mm.
I know you work primarily with women, but let's say from my perspective as a man, what are some of the ways that I can help her to feel safe and maybe overcome some trauma that may have nothing to do with me, but is impacting the relationship that I have with her?
Yeah, and I think this is relevant for all genders. We all need to feel safe. Like if we want to be intimate, the more safety we have, the better experience we're going to have, and the more we're going to be able to relax, let go, open up, be able to experience pleasure. So some of that is around being connected to our bodies and noticing when we feel unsafe. Slowing things down can be really helpful. So I'm talking here more about physical acts, like rather than like rushing fast. It's so tempting. It's really common that, you start making out, things get heated, and it can go from 0 to 100 very fast. And it's like, okay, well, what if we slow things down a bit and then just check in? How are you feeling? Are you enjoying this? Was there anything else that you would like? So, because what happens with our nervous system is sometimes when we get aroused, if there's parts of you that are not feeling safe, there might be some warning signs that you're not paying attention to. Like perhaps your heart started to race a bit more. Perhaps you have gone into your head. Perhaps you're feeling a bit activated, or it's triggered a memory or something. And even though you're actually enjoying physically what's happening, you might be starting to check out, or there's lots of different things that can happen. So slowing everything down can really be really beneficial because it kind of gives everything a bit of a chance to catch up with itself. Consent is really, really, I cannot stress the importance of consent. Really, like, do you want this? What do you want? Having those questions like beforehand, in the moment, and then having a chat afterwards about what you enjoyed, what you'd like differently next time. Like that is one of the best things you can do to build intimacy. Is really important. And I think the other things, it's communication, communication, communication. And as you say, this can feel really edgy and really taboo. And it's about creating emotional safety. And so many people find it harder to talk about sex than they do to actually have sex. Um, Absolutely, but it's part of intimacy. And so, really, creating a space where somebody can express, or letting them know they're not going to be judged, letting them know they're not going to be rejected, that you're working together as a team on this, and that if it doesn't go there this time, that's okay. There's always going to be another time. And this can also be the case for men with performance issues as well. Like that can be an issue. So we need to be really mindful and be thinking about how can we be supporting our partner as best we can. Because the more support we can give them, the better the experience is going to be for everybody. How can we build trust in that? Yeah.
I spoke to someone who was she's had a number of long-term relationships, but she hasn't had many. I think she's had like maybe four or five, but she's in her mid 40s at this point, right? So they're usually, let's say, about 5 years, 8 years, things of that. And she has a child with one of the earlier relationships. She's not married. And one thing she mentioned that I found kind of interesting is there's a few of us and we're talking about something similar, and she made it a point to let people know that she does participate in the sex in the bedroom, right?
Hmm.
And this was unsolicited, so kind of like caught us a little bit off guard. I was like, why is this person going out of their way to make it a point to let them know? So I had a conversation one-on-one with her, and I was like, hey, you know what? We had a conversation, and you seem to really be focused on ensuring that people don't view you as someone that um isn't participating, but that does participate, right? And then her answer was that, well, I want to make sure that the person I'm with knows that I'm willing to do something. I was like, and then I'm trying to think, why is that so important to you to make it known that not only to your partner, maybe, but to potential partners? So why do you think maybe some people, in this case, a woman, but some people want to make sure that they're willing to do whatever is required of them in the bedroom, and they want people to know about that so they're not viewed a certain type of way.
Ooh, it's a good question. And I think this really can come down to the conditioning that we've grown up with. Like, and it's really hard, particularly for women. Like, you're either frigid or you're a slut, and there's not much in between. And so, and there can be this sense of like, well, if you don't put out for a guy, you're going to be rejected. He's going to move on to somebody else. And I know a lot of women, particularly married women that I've worked with, who have carried on having sex with their partners, even though they're not enjoying it because they're terrified their partner's going to leave. And that's not a good thing to be in either. Um, and it might be that, this person is trying to find her sexual confidence and wants to express that and wants to let that their potential partner know that, hey, I'm down for this. I'm game. I'm open to having some fun, and I want, I don't want you to view me as frigid, or that I'm a willing participant in this, and that I'm going for enthusiastic consent. But until we get in the bedroom with someone, we don't know how it's going to go. We don't know if we're going to be in the mood. We don't know if the body's going to perform, and you know, things we can never guarantee that it's going to go that way.